Hey, it's Steve Zalunardo here. It's actually our last day up north, and we're heading back to Florida tomorrow, which is exciting to get back home. I just want to talk about a little bit what we're finding the differences between reality and what's actually being presented here up north. And it's, spending time with friends, families, and clients the last 8 days, it's almost like a group think where everyone's got the same concept. So even if people don't listen to the media, they still have the same information, which is kind of weird. It means it's an echo chamber, and it's kind of like traveling through the ranks here. And I just want to make a lot of stuff clear here, and I'm going to start with one of the markets, because Cape Coral, we know, like friends, family members, and clients know we're building homes in Cape Coral, so they're concerned: is it really the worst market in real estate in all of America? And again, I get, people flip information to me, Instagram influencers talking about how Cape Coral is the worst market in real estate market in all of America. And I don't see it. It's like, am I missing something? I mean, I don't know. The house that we built and then we ended up renting out, if I would have kept it on the market an extra 30 to 60 days, we just found out, I didn't pay attention to it after we leased it out, was the neighbors sold for $685 and the other one sold for $700,000. So I was like 60 days impatient. I should have just stuck around, got it sold, and moved the money a little further. But it's fine. We're going to list it as of probably 2 months prior to the lease expiry, and then ultimately get it sold. And we're going into a great market. We're starting to see this lift in everything that we're doing right now. So maybe we can get over 700,000 by next year, which is great. But I still want to go through Cape Coral, because again, this is, people question this. And I was looking at some of the social media influencers. They have like amazing videos. There's B-rolls of everything on fire, empty towns. We don't see it, I got to be honest. I remember seeing one image in there. It's like basically people on like a little chartered boat, and they said this is what they're doing. They're going looking after foreclosures. There's no foreclosures. I mean, there's some people that started construction probably with no money and then got stuck in the middle of it because they couldn't raise any more money. But that's different. That's just negligence financially. When we built our house in Cape, and I knew this going forward, we paid it all in cash, and if there was going to be a hiccup, we wouldn't give a shit, because we'll just rent it out, which we did, and refinance, pull the money out, move the money again. That's the whole point. That's being business, being a little bit more conservative. We're not building things on the fly. We paid that one all cash, to be honest, so it didn't matter what happened in the market. We're always going to be safe. But clearly, we're not taking any chances, because we're new to the country as well, and we got to make sure that everything is square, and we're not in a position where we're losing money, only making money. So I mean, that's invested in general. But let's look at Cape Coral. And this was very surprising to me, because Cape Coral, I thought, was just a normal city. If you think of the largest city in Southwest Florida, you'd think Fort Myers. I would. It's a little bit of ignorance, but it's actually Cape Coral. If you look at Cape Coral, it's 243,000 people. It's the most populated city in all of Southwest Florida. Second would be Lehigh at 103,000, Fort Myers at 104,000, Bonita, which would Estero would be involved in that as well, so 57,000, and then Naples City would be 20,000. And again, if you really want to break it out, I really don't consider this Southwest Florida when you get into Bradenton, Sarasota. Some people do, some people don't. But even if you look at those big cities, or thinking that they're big cities, they're nothing compared. They're 1/4 the size, or 1/5 the size of Cape Coral. Like Bradenton, 60,000, Sarasota's 54,000, and then Northport, 74,000. So again, just take a look at that. So we're the largest city in Southwest Florida, the most population, and the most turnover, the most amount of listings, the most amount of sales. There's always something moving there. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to run my own absorption rate on the area. So instead of always relying on what our real estate board would give us, I want to run numbers how I would. So what we did is right now the current listings on the market is 3,403 units. Again, that's with condos. We don't really usually deal with condos. When clients want condos, I try to sell them a single family dwelling or a townhome. But again, we're going to pull those out, because that's a different market that we're not super involved in. So let's look at right now. There's 3,040 homes for sale, single family, villa attached, villa detached, and then townhomes. So all basically single family properties. So if you get those numbers, and you're going to put it into an absorption rate, which is basically the amount of listings and the amount of sales. So in the last 3 months, we've had 1,531 closings, not pendings, just closings. So 1,530 units closed in the last 3 months. Okay, so what that would give us is that every month there's 16.76. So let's say 17% of all the inventory is getting eaten up by buyers coming in. So 17% of that inventory every month will get turned over. So if you look at the months of inventory, it's 5.96 months of inventory, which is amazing. It's under 6 months, which is not a balanced market, still a buyer's market, but at the same time you can move product and you can make money doing it, which is great. So that's that. And then I want to go into this. This is our little system here. Again, I love all these graphs and stuff because this is how we make decisions. And we, you're dealing with our office, either it's up north or in Florida, we're not just talking out of our butt. This is we're looking at stuff, right? Well, let's look at this. Let's single family dwelling, townhomes, all ranges. We're going to do resale and new construction, all the above. We got 3 areas to compare from. So we got Bonita Estero, we got Cape Coral clearly, and then we got Naples. And then we're going to see what this all entails. And I'm going to move it back and forth between 1 and 3 years. Because 3 years basically is going to be the height of the market, and then obviously we're going to just compare from the beginning of this year to till now. So just remember, amount of inventory as well. We're at 28,000 units as of January. We're down to 21,000 units. That's a 30% drop in inventory all across our Southwest Florida, not past Punta Gorda. So that's where we are, Punta Gorda to Marco Island. Down 30% of inventory year over year, or actually in the first 8 months of the year. So we're going down in the right direction. And you're going to see that. If I go to months of inventory here, we'll give you month supply. So we'll give you an idea. Take a look at this. So this is from, again, January 2024. If you look back here, we had about, Cape Coral had 7.2 months of inventory. You kind of see it gets chewed up. And then we get into January of 25, we're at 8.6 months of inventory. So that is 1.4 months more of inventory than we had the previous. Then the height of it would have been March, where Cape was 8.5. Look at Naples, 11 months of inventory. We don't want to talk about Cape Coral. 8.5 months of inventory at the height. So that's month supply of inventory, 8.5. Now look at it. So we're in April, May, June. So June we're down to 7.4, which is almost back to where we started in January 2024. And again, it's nosediving. It's not like we knew this. We knew all this was going to happen. When I did my mastermind meeting last year, around the same time, we already planned for a transitional 2025. That's both sides of the border. We went in with a different mission, and if you see now, like we had a really banging second quarter up north, and there's a dry spout, and we're going to have a really good fourth quarter. And then Florida was the same, where it was very slow, very not even ebb and flow, it was more ebb than flow. And then ultimately we got an explosion now, so we're going to have an amazing end of third quarter into fourth quarter, and then 26 we're going to have an explosion of real estate sales. And also, like, this is where we get our business back on track, where we're going to get into like a 50-60 deal a year mark, where we and then get back into building, get all the other companies ready to start rocking and rolling, because we have the energy and the wanting to grow. So we just need the environment to help us out, so which is coming to fruition right now. So if we kind of look at this, so 7.4 months of inventory year over year. Sales price, we're down year over year 5.4%. So how is 5.4% down the worst market in all of America? It doesn't even make sense to me. It really, like, that's why I'm trying to look at it, and not trying to be objective because we're attached to these communities. It's like, give me the numbers. If this was 20-30% year over year, I'd be frightened. But the reality is, if the inventory was going up, then I would be totally scared with this value coming back down, losing further value in the market, because you got more inventory, less buyers, clearly more choices, and then you're going to be more competitive prices. But if you're starting to nosedive with inventory, that means it's going the opposite direction, where we're going to have less inventory in the market and buyers will have fewer choices, paying more money. This is just logical thinking. We're not recreating the wheel here. This is economics 101. This is new listings. So if we kind of look at the listings are actually down year over year by 10%, if you see this number here. So we, coming into 24, we had over 1,050 new listings. Look now, we're at 624 new units. So less new listings coming to the market, and less inventory coming down. Obviously, inventory is getting eaten up. Let's look at homes for sale. This is up 7.4% from year over year. Again, this was 3,000 units on the market in Jan 2024. Now we're at 3,145 units. So again, very slim margin. Again, I calculated 3,000 in a bit. The way we do it, pending. Let's go to closed sales. So closed sales down 4% year over year. It's not much. Naples is literally Sales up? Oh, sales are up 10% in Naples. Look at that. So they got high inventory, but the sales are up 10%, which is fantastic. But we're down 4%. Days on market, you're going to have a spike here clearly. So you're seeing 16% time on market. But let's look at, so Jan, we're at 49 days in the market, and now we're at 56 days. So again, it's an additional week than what it was. But then if you look around this point, this is the point you need to look at, right around here. See how everything starts trending down after that March? We're starting to get into a nice, good market. This is a long one, but I think it's a good one. I think this is going to explain a lot. That one we did, dollar volume. Again, down 10%, nothing major. Naples is up 37%. Bonita Estero up 5%, 4.6%. Showings the pending. This is interesting because it's basically calculating how many people you need to get through your house in order to get a contract signed. So this is basically exactly 10. So they're at 0%, has not changed in a year. So you need 10 showings in order to get an offer. That's pretty much it. That's going to be the first segment. So basically, I hope this explains what's actually happened in Cape Coral, that it's not the worst market in America. I don't know what translates that to the worst market in the market in America. If that's the worst market in America, then we're in very good shape. That's it, guys. Have a good day.